Okay, so before you can really work with Pillow, you actually need to install it. And I don't think we've really installed much, but I'm going to walk you through the process so you know how to do it. You might need to install it on these computers as well. So Pillow, if I want to install it, I'm going to go to this little icon here that looks like a stack of, I don't know, cheese. It doesn't look like a stack of pancakes because it's not round. It looks like a stack of American cheese maybe. Python packages. And then it's going to list the Python packages you have installed and the ones you don't have installed. And I'm just going to go Pillow. And what you should see there is one that is just lowercase. You'll see a lot of stuff here that has the word Pillow in it. You don't want any of those. You just want the plain old Pillow package. And when you select that on the left hand side here, it'll come up over here on the right with information about that library and a button right here. Yours should stay install unless you have already installed it or it happens to be installed on your computer already. So you should click that, and after a few minutes, it should do it for you. I'll uninstall it so I can show you what the installation looks like. So there is my install button, and you will leave it on the latest version. Click install, and down here at the bottom of the window, it should say installing package. And it might say some other messages as it updates other things that are related to it. And once you're done, it should say uninstall up there, and you shouldn't have any errors. If you get an error, then there might be another issue that needs to be looked at. But usually that goes pretty smooth with PyCharm and does a good job of installing things. So 3 steps: click Python packages, type Pillow into the search box, and click install on the right side. Those are the steps to installing that. Now, before we start playing around with images, you're going to need to get an image on your computer that's usable. And I want that image to be something relatively simple, and I want it to be inside your Python directory in PyCharm. So here's my tip for you. Let's say you want to get an image of like a sunset or a flower or something like that. I'm going to type images.google.com. Now, keep in mind that these are images that are owned by other people or protected by copyright, so you can't really do anything with them other than play around with them. You can play around with them for the purpose of learning. That falls under what's called fair use, so it gets you around copyright. But if you create something amazing and you want to sell it, then you need to ask permission from the original copyright holder. So I'm going to just type sunset. There we go. Millions of beautiful sunset pictures. And I'm just going to find one that I like. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just going to grab that one right there. And from this screen, if you just right click on that, you'll get a menu that includes Save Image As. So I'm just going to take that image and I'm going to save it onto my computer. I'll probably save it on my desktop so I can find it really easy. So I'll save it. I'm going to change it to sunset.jpg. Already has JPEG there. Okay, and I'll put that on my desktop so I can find it in just a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open PyCharm. And I'm going to open, if you're on a Mac, it's a Finder window. If you're on Windows, it's an Explorer window. But I'm going to pull up my desktop here, find the file, and I'm just going to drag that right over to my main project folder. and it's going to ask me what I want, where I want to put it. If I dragged it to the right place, it should have the right place highlighted, and then I'm going to click refactor, which is basically the same as saying move that file. So there's that file. There's my sunset. If I click on it, there's my image. Okay, so now I have an image that I can play with. Very, very useful.